internment, and in 1945 he and others were liberated from the Omori POW camp, which was situated on an artificial island in Tokyo Bay. Back in the USA, he said,
"For long periods I was in prisons on both North and South Tokyo. The prisoners located near the bay appreciated the systematic B-29 raids. Watching the B-29s burn up Tokyo wasn't such a bad consolation prize for being shot down and held prisoner for almost 2 years."
For many years it was believed that the Japanese executed the crew on Wongat Island. But Major Cox's evidence after the war and the cross-examination of captured Japanese disclosed that after being interrogated, the crew were held at the captivity compound at Amron. On August the 31st, 1943, 5 American airmen, 4 from the Green Dragon's crew, and Second Lieutenant Owen Salvage from another crashed B-25 were executed. Anderson, Koselnak and Ritako were blindfolded and escorted down the mountain to the execution ground, bayoneted and then beheaded by Kempitai. Next, Lieutenant Salvage was escorted to the killing ground, and many soldiers took turns bayoneting him. Captain Harry was then led to the execution ground and tied between 2 poles. As the security guard unit squad leader commanded his men to fix bayonets, Harry said, "Do not bayonet me. Shoot me instead." The squad leader then thrust his bayonet in Harry's chest, and then 12 or 13 squad members took turns bayoneting him. The crewmen were buried at the execution site. After the war, Captain Robert Harry's remains were interred at New Braunfels, and Technical Sergeant Hugh Anderson's in Aspermont, both locations in their home state of Texas. Staff Sergeant Raymond Zimmerman is listed on the tablets of the missing at Manila American Cemetery in the Philippines, and Lieutenant Robert Koselnak is interred in the same cemetery. The resting place of First Lieutenant Louis Ritako is in St. Mary's Cemetery, Rye, New York. Nobody will ever know how many American, Australian, Dutch, British Commonwealth and native troops, civilians and missionaries were killed, murdered, died of wounds or maltreatment in Papua and New Guinea during the war. Earlier in October 1943, Major Cox had been awarded a Silver Star for gallantry on a reconnaissance mission prior to being shot down. His aircraft was Damn Yankee and Rebel, which had led many people to believe that the Green Dragon off Wongat Island was that aircraft. In many parts of the Pacific, World War II is now part of our ecosystem. Wrecked aircraft are still being found on land. Also sunken ships. And aircraft litter the seabed. They are silent testimony to battles fought often far away from lands of origin for man and machine of both sides. It was September 1979, and David Pennefather, an avid researcher of Papua New Guinea's wartime days, was out looking for war relics, including an aircraft he had heard about in the Madang area. David snorkeled all along the reef off Wongat Island, looking for this aircraft. About to give up after hours in the water, he dived for the last time, and there, on a slight slope of the seabed, lay a Mitchell B-25, undisturbed since it crashed in 1943. A diver's dream.
Well, I remember that discovery of the B-25 Mitchell in Madang very, very clearly, because I was over there at the time teaching a scuba course. We were in Crankhead Lagoon, and Dave Pennyfather came over in a speedboat. He was really excited because an old man had just taken him out to a reef, and he was able to snorkel down on the reef and see this wingtip sticking up out of the reef, and they realized that they'd found an aircraft wreck that no one knew about before. So he wanted to try and organize some scuba gear and get over there and be the first to dive it.
The Green Dragon, a man-made object of war, is now a thriving reef and a fascinating scuba dive, with its fuselage lying in 18 meters. In 1982, Williston Madison Cox and his wife Karela spent part of their overseas trip diving off Wongat Island, photographing the B-25 that his father, Major Cox, had been in as the command pilot. After their dive on the Green Dragon, Madison said, "It was a complete surprise when we found the plane, and I wished my dad could see what we were seeing. We had a feeling of passing through time once we saw the faint outline of the plane and realized what it was. The highlight of the dive was looking into the cockpit and seeing where my dad sat in the plane." The aircraft rests in shallow water in a sheltered location that provides a nourishing, rich habitat, and one can observe nature's own regenerative powers as it takes over the B-25. Scuba divers descend to find that the port wing, which is in 12 meters, is topped by a large barrel sponge. At first sight, the aircraft seems to be in perfect condition, but one soon realizes that the port engine doesn't exist. Torn off as the aircraft ditched. The underside of the wing is particularly impressive as it is draped with a large number of lacy Gorgonian coral fans, which have added decoration to an already elegant framework. Amid the sea fans is a number of species of fishes, including a large lionfish, noted for its beauty and grace as it hovers over the reef. Despite its attractive display, its long spines are venomous. The tail area, with its twin vertical stabilizing fins and its no longer menacing machine gun, is particularly photogenic. The light levels are quite good, but an underwater light reveals a multitude of colors. What was once a dull, dark greenish blue can be transformed into bright colors. The Dorsal Turret was an excellent gunnery platform for its twin 50 caliber machine guns, which could give a devastating cone of fire. The guns are now adorned with small fan corals. The staggered waist gun openings were originally designed without guns. Combat experience resulted in field modifications that added a single machine gun on either side. Although the field of fire was limited, they were useful in suppressing ack-ack fire during strafing runs. Bob Halstead reported that within a few days of the discovery of the B-25, vandals removed the side swivel guns and other items, even though they were worthless away from the wreck. The remains of the aircraft is also used by a diversity of fish in search of refuge and food. The starboard wing sports a field of red whip corals. Despite their profusion, they are extremely delicate and can be easily damaged. Nearby are razorfishes swimming vertically to align with their habitat. Swimming across the starboard wing, one finds the supercharged radial engine, half buried in the seafloor. To the right of it, on the wing, is a large anemone with its colourful clownfish.